the disgrace
Mr.
what this man has done.
The gentleman from
justice.
Texas will.
And I can't help but wonder when I see you looking there with a little smirk. How many times did you look so innocent into your wife's eye and lie to her about Lisa?
Mr. Chairman, this is outrageous.
The credibility of a witness is always an issue.
Mr. Chairman, please.
Have you Mr. Chairman, this is intolerable harassment of the witness.
What's wrong with that? You need your medication.
That was a little crazy. A little bit later, Congressman Gohmert did say he didn't mean to say this. He lost his temper when he saw the look on his face as if he was putting something over on all the congressmen and women.
Well, let's take a look at the faces of Diamond and Silk. Social media stars, Trump supporters, they join us every Friday from Diamond and Silk headquarters. Ladies, what did you, first of all, what did you make of Louis Gohmert's comment? Was he over the line with that? A lot of people say he was. And what did you think generally of yesterday's 10-hour grilling?
I think his comment was appropriate. Listen, we're trying to get down to answers to facts. We want to know, did this man have bias? Were you trying to take down a sitting president, or were you trying to take him down when he was running for president? This Russia collusion story that was manufactured by you was a lie. We need answers. What I thought about yesterday, I thought that Peter Strzok should have been taken out in handcuffs.
That's right.
They should have arrested him. You know, if this was done to Obama, all chains and fences would have broke loose. I wonder would the Democrats been singing his praises if Peter Strzok would have done this to Obama.
That's right.
So we want answers, and we need answers now.
And if this test was so personal, it should have been done on a personal phone and not a government phone.
Yes.
All right, well, a lot of the conservatives were not happy with him yesterday. That was clear in their questioning. Democrats, many of them were defending him. One even said he deserves a Purple Heart. Listen to this.
I want to apologize to you for the way you've been treated by this committee.
I know that when defendants don't have the facts or evidence on their side, they resort to attacking law enforcement. That's what we see happening now.
This investigation is a joke. It's a fraud. This hearing is a kangaroo court. It is a three-ring circus.
We should be honoring you for the work that you have done over the last 22 years to keep this nation safe.
If I could give you a Purple Heart, I would. You deserve one.
Diamond Silk, who's right in this?
You know, that first of all, I find the hypocrisy on the left just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. This man texts how he wanted to take down Donald Trump, how he wanted to stop him. And we sitting up and they're trying to praise him for that. I find it appalling. And to all of the Democrats, those lawmakers, especially those black ones, I have a problem with what they're saying. You know, they always complain about the injustice of black men being railroaded. Here it is. We have a sitting president being railroaded by this FBI agent and by some in the FBI, and they sitting up singing for him. I have a problem with that, and I'm quite sure most Americans have a problem with that. Peter Strzok should have been taken out and still around his wrist. He should be going to jail.
Right.
He is a criminal.
He had to denounce his own words and have everyone believe that he didn't mean what he texted over and over again over the course of 18 months. Meanwhile, there's something else going on in Capitol Hill. A Democrat's going to have their day on the floor. Yes, a Congressman Pocan from Wisconsin has a plan to abolish ICE and actually has a piece of legislation to push forward. So Paul Ryan says, well, that's interesting. Why don't we see what kind of vote they get? Let's let Democrats and Republicans vote on abolishing ICE. Guess what? The congressman goes, oh, this is a trap. If you put that forward, I'm going to vote against my own plan. I don't get it. Do you?
No, we really don't get it. But this is the really main crazy thing. The Democrats does this a whole lot. They say a lot of things that they want to do, but really they don't want to do it. What they want to do is play games. And what's really amazing is how the Democrats talks about how they want to abolish ICE, but they didn't even want to abolish slavery. The Democrats is a big joke, and it's time to vote all of them out.
Vote them out.
Well, they have a chance to get a vote, and they're turning it down because they know the country overwhelmingly does not want to abolish ICE.
Ladies, before you go, what did you make of the president's, he's about halfway through his world disruption tour. He went over to NATO, asked for more money. It sounds like they're going to get some. And then he had some harsh words for Theresa May and her soft exit from Brexit.
Well, listen, I think he's doing an amazing job. He's standing up for the American people and for America. We are not going to be used as the crutch anymore. America is not the world's crutch. They're going to have to stand up on their own 2 feet, and they're going to have to pay their fair share. I love it.
And our First Lady represented America beautifully. She looked it amazing, very stunning. We love both
the yellow
our
dress.
President and our First Lady.
Yeah, the yellow dress was beautiful. What about his nominee for the Supreme Court on Monday?
Oh, we're absolutely just happy about it. Listen, I have a feeling that he's going to have to pick another one before it's over with.
Yeah.
So, listen, whatever the Democrats keep resisting is what's going to persist. He's going to have to pick a third one, too.
Yeah.
Look at that. All right, Diamond and Silk with a bold prediction. Ladies, thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
The man leading the FBI's investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a personal email server and Russian interference in the 2016 election testified before Congress this week. Agent Peter Strzok, the personification of the righteous left, thinking they know better than the rest of us, was a composite of pompous, arrogant, indignant, sarcastic, smug, condescending, defiant, and unapologetic. Strzok seems to share Cardinal Comey's affectation about being a selfless servant of the people, even though he seems to simultaneously hold us all in contempt. Strzok is also the personification of the deep state itself, where fascism rules, where people in power don't care what you think, but instead decide they know better. They know what's right, and then they implement it. But no worries, Strzok isn't biased. He says so himself.
After months of investigations, there's simply no evidence of bias in my professional actions.
For me, it was one of the most stunning, don't believe your lying eyes moments I've ever seen. His own text exchanges betray his denial. He and his mistress, Lisa Page, called Donald Trump an effing idiot, loathsome, a bigot, an enormous D, blank, 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 awful, abysmal, a disaster. The irony here is that if you want to show bias, you would simply use his words. And for any of you who still don't believe your lying ears, take a listen to this.
10 days before the investigation began, which the department you work for says nothing was done before July 31st. You said Trump is a disaster. I have no idea how destabilizing his presidency would be. Between July 31st and August 8th, how many interviews did you conduct related to the alleged collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign? I'm asking for a number. I haven't gotten to the names. How many people had you interviewed? That counsel of the FBI, based on the special counsel's equities, have directed me not to answer any questions about the ongoing investigation into Russian attempts to interfere.
So he's directed not to answer any questions by counsel for the FBI. So why is this important? Why would it be important to show the investigation began before the FBI said it did? Why? Because nothing happened to even begin an investigation. They made up a date and they made up a reason. The Democrats in Congress knew the danger zone they were in and desperately tried to use every excuse to end the questions. And so pandemonium broke out in the House of Representatives.
He has said that he's been instructed by the FBI not to answer the question.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, is it not appropriate to also interject the attorney-client privilege, which cannot be overridden and is a rule of the House to the extent that witnesses have the right to an attorney-client privilege in this House? And that is what this witness is asserting, attorney-client privilege, and he has been advised not to answer the question.
The gentlewoman will suspend.
And it went downhill from there.
Mr. Chairman, please.
Mr. Chairman, this is intolerable harassment of the witness.
What's wrong with that? You need your medication.
The free-for-all in that hearing room was a sight to behold. But more than that, It was a microcosm of what the left has done when they want to shut down the right. The pent-up rage and the pandemonium was an example of how angry the left is. And while the Republicans conducted themselves in a genteel manner, the Democrats, claiming parliamentary points of order, blew their collective gasket. So Strzok arrogantly claims he's following FBI protocol. They told him not to say anything. But 6 hours later, he's shown yet again to be a liar and is allowed to answer the question that goes to the heart of the basis for this absurd investigation into Donald Trump's alleged connection with Russia. And when given the green light, here's Strzok's answer.
Agent Strzok, between July 31st, 2016 and August 6, 2016, how many witness interviews did you conduct as part of the Russia-Trump campaign alleged collusion investigation?
I don't recall, and I'd have to check the case file.
We waited all that time for that answer?
Yes, sir.
That's eerily similar to what you said a couple hours ago.
And if that isn't enough, the text, quote, "I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. So Strzok wasn't trying to prevent Trump from winning. What he was doing was even worse. He was talking about having a plan to effectively disenfranchise the voters who elected Trump should Trump win. Forget democracy, forget the people. Those voters whom Strzok doesn't like are idiots. He said so himself in a text to his mistress. If his candidate of choice didn't win, the one he helped avoid criminal liability, he was going to abuse the power we entrusted him to ensure that it didn't matter. If the unthinkable were to happen, his insurance policy would help deal with it. The insurance policy, my friends, is the Russia collusion investigation. And that's why I wrote the book, Liars, Leakers, and Liberals, detailing the power structure trying to bring the president down. The book hits store shelves on Tuesday, but you can still pre-order it right now on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. And don't forget to tell me what you think on my Facebook page and what you think of The Open.